What you are seeing here now is I've inserted a new slide because I already have a design. The new slide is taking the layout and the design character of the design I already had. When we had no design applied, you will discover that everything is just normal, no aesthetics, no coloring, no, what you just have is your layout. That is the difference between when you've already applied a design before you start adding slides, and when you add slides ordinarily first and foremost, and thereafter putting your content and adding the design of your choice to your presentation. So in this design, let's look at prevention measures. Prevention measures against COVID-19. Now, you will discover that based on the design you selected, small letter or capital letter might not matter, because even some of the titles you have as small letter, the design change it to capital letter because that is the design of this, the dictate of this design that I select. Hope you are getting that, everybody. So can you all supply me with information now? You can see this layout is title and content layout. So what are the prevention measures? Number one could be always wear a face mask. Is it face mask or nose mask? Okay, good. Maintain good hygiene by washing of hands regularly. Okay, which other one? Good. Frequent hand sanitizing. Maintain social distancing. Any other one that you want to suggest? Don't touch your nose. Good. So it's avoid touching of your nose, your eyes. Which other one? Okay. Proper disposal of mask after use. Proper disposal of mask after use.
Hello, sir.
Oh, you're not seeing my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, you see it now. But you can always type this in your system. Avoid touching of your eyes and nose. Okay. All right, you see. Hope you can see it on on my screen now. Then somebody mentioned one. What will that be? Proper disposal of mask after use. Now, let's assume we are fine with only this, and we want to present this with smart art graphics. We want to present this with smart art graphics. I told you there are two ways to use the smart art graphics. The first is when you have your point listed like this, and the second is when you don't have your point, and we have used the two. So now I have my point, it's been selected, so I can just convert this to smart art through the home ribbon and look at any smart art that could represent it better. Okay. So I've used the pyramid. I've applied the pyramid. And you see when I do that, you have different smart art style that you can also adopt. There are several of them. You can pick any one that you think will represent you better. Good, I have picked this. Very good. I have picked this. I have picked this. So I want to show you this presentation now from the beginning so that all of you can see that is a transition I have applied. That's a transition I have applied. That's a transition I've applied. That's a transition I've applied. Now, having done that, let's assume I want to have the last slide. I can also insert the last slide straight away. So I have my slide 9. Let's assume my slide 9, I want to change the layout. You go to home and you change the layout of your slide 9. Let's assume I don't want it to have a title. I will select or title only. I can click on title only. You can see it has changed it to title only. So I can move. You can see what I'm doing. I can move the title placeholder and just say thank you. And just say thank you. So let's assume we just have 9-slide presentation. If you look at this 9-slide presentation, we have utilized most of the tools that are available in PowerPoint. We've not utilized all. Please note that we have not utilized all, but we have utilized most of the tools that we have in PowerPoint. We have tried different layouts. We have tried different layouts. We have tried to insert a table. We have tried to look at bullets, different types of bullets. We have tried to convert bullets to smart art graphics. We have tried different layouts. Now, today we will still try one or two more functions, though this is another smart art graphics that we work on, which is basically the organogram smart art graphics, talking about structure and relationship group of the smart art graphics. And also one thing we've also done is we have applied transition. Let me make emphasis on transition again. Let me make emphasis on transition again. I told you that transition is applicable to the entire slide. If you look towards your slide here, this is where all your slides are listed. All your slides are listed by the left side. So what that means is anything you want to do that is applicable to the entire slide, not each of the contents of the slide, you can do it straight away from this left. For instance, if I right click on this slide 2, you can see what it's showing me. I can copy this slide to another slide. I can insert a new slide from here. I can duplicate this slide. I can delete this slide. I can change the layout of this slide from here. I can format the background of this slide from here. Are you there with me? So you can do that from here. Oh, let's do one or two other things that you might not have understood how to do before. Let's do one or two other things that you might not have understood how to do before. For instance, if I have this slide now, slide 2, and I right click on it and I said I want to format the background. And I say I want to format the background. If you look towards my right, it has given me a format the background dialog box. So I can now say what kind of formatting do I want to do. This one is, do I want to do a solid fill? You can see a gradient field. As I'm clicking on each of them, you can see it's giving me different color. So I can change different color of gradient field. You can see the color is giving me. So I have options of different colors. You can see what is happening to my gradient field. You can see what is happening to my gradient field as I'm selecting it. So you can change that. If you don't want that, you can use a picture or texture as your background. This is texture. These are different texture now that I'm using as my background. If I want to use a picture and I click on insert, it will tell me, it will open a dialog box for me on my system. You can see. So it will expect me to go to where I have picture on my system, and from where I have picture, I will be expected to take any of them. So I'm on my own system now, looking at where I have pictures. I'm on my own system now, looking at where I have pictures. I'm on my system now, looking at where I have pictures. So if you have pictures on your system, you can also go there. So you select anywhere where you have pictures, and you'll be able to select one picture. What we are discussing now is how to change the background of your slide. The first thing you do is you select the slide from the slide list. You right click, and after right clicking, you click on change background. You click on change background. When you do that, it gives you the format background dialog box where you can select whether you want to have a solid fill, a gradient fill, picture or texture fill, pattern fill, or you can even hide the background graphics. You can even hide the background graphics. So from this now, I'm looking for a picture I can use. I've seen some. Okay. Now, for the purpose of this class, let's assume I want to use this picture. I've selected it. You will see that that picture is now on my background. But one thing you see on that picture that is very important for you to note is that the picture has occupied everything, such that even the content is faint. So you can now go there and reduce the transparency of the picture. When you first insert your picture, the transparency is at 0%. See what is happening now. Do you see what is happening? Can you all see it? What I'm doing now is that I'm increasing the percentage. So because it's a background picture, it's not the content. Do you see what is happening? So my content is showing very clearly now. and the picture I put it at 80%, and the picture is just showing at 20%. So I can see my content very clearly. I can see my content very clearly. And I hope you're all doing that. So successfully, we've been able to insert a background picture to slide 2. So let's go to slide 4 and do something else. So I'm on slide 4 now. You can still see that my format background is still on. Let's assume it's not on my slide 4. I can also right click on it and click on format background. You see that I can also click on it and click on format background. If you don't want to right click on it, you can go to design on your ribbon list. If you're on design on your ribbon list, towards the left, towards the right rather, of the ribbon list, you will see format background. So when you click it, you still have the same thing. So you can use any of those two methods that you think it's fine by you. You can use any of those two methods that you think it's fine by you. So in this case, I'm not going to use a picture. I've used a picture before. I've made you to see what gradient fill looks like. And I also talked about texture fill. But in this case, let's assume I want to use a pattern fill. There are different types of pattern. These are lists of pattern. There are different types of pattern. You can see different types of pattern. As I select each of the pattern, you can see what is happening to my screen. There are different types of pattern. As you can see, that already has a pattern fill. Foreground is the color that show on it. You can see. You can see I've changed the pattern color. You can see there are different types of pattern. You can see there are different types of pattern. Are you with me? So if I'm okay with this pattern, I'll just leave it as it is. So we have formatted two of the slides background, one with a background picture and one with a pattern. And you have seen what you can do to others to also format the background. Hope that is clear, everybody. Hope that is clear, everybody. Please take time to do that on your system. Take time to do that on your system now. Then I'm going to add one or two more things that we need to learn. Take time to do that on your system, and I will add one or two things. So today in this class, we have reviewed what we did before. We've added two slides, prevention measures against COVID-19, and a final slide that only uses the title because you just want to use it to express a thank you message. Apart from that, we have learned how to format background, and we have used two examples, formatting with a texture fill and using a picture as background formatting. Try that, then I will emphasize more on transition and animations for today's class. After we do that, then we could also look at other things like links and comments as are important in making presentation with Microsoft PowerPoint. So work on your system, and I can call anyone at random to show me what he or she has done. So I believe you are all working on your system, and I believe you are getting it done. If you have any issues, please let me know. Olusegun Odujole, get ready to share your screen. I want to see what you have done. George Indy, you also get ready. I want to see what you have done. Should we go ahead and discuss another concept now? Or I should give you some time to practice that which you have done? Someone asked a question of how do you change color of a table as seen in slide 5. So listen to me as I explain. As soon as you select a table, you will have your table tools. Your table tool will show. Design and layout will show. Do you see that? If your cursor is no more on that table, you will not see the table tools, which is design and layout in this case. I told you most of the insertable objects in PowerPoint has their own tools and set of icons that helps you to work on them so that it can become better. So you can see that my cursor now is on the title. Because my cursor is on the title, if you look at the ribbons list, the table tool is not showing. But if my cursor is moved to the table, you can see the table tool is showing automatically design and layout. So when you come to design, you will see table style. There are several of them. So you just select any one that you want. You can see as I'm selecting it, it's changing. Do you get? And this is exactly what we did here. As I'm selecting it, it's changing. It is not magic. It is not rocket science. As I'm selecting it, it's changing. So that is how to do that. I hope your question has been answered. I hope your question has been answered.
Yes, sir.
Having said that, I was discussing about transition earlier on. If you click on transition, you will see different transitions. You can see the list. Transition is between design and animation in the list of ribbon. Transition is between design and animation in the list of ribbon. As you are seeing on my screen, there are several transitions. Exciting list, dynamic, several of them. For instance, if I want fly through, you can see I've selected fly through to this slide 5 now. And having selected fly through, if you look at the effect option, it can fly in, it can fly out. Do you see it? It can fly in with bounce. It can fly out with bounce. I get what I'm trying to say. Now, transition just tells you how the entire slide come in or go out. For instance, now I can come back to my slide 9 and give it a different transition, different from the others. I can say it should clock. I can say I want my last slide to clock. And that's what I mean by clocking. Then having selected clocking, I can say counterclockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise. I can decide the speed. So I can say the speed here should be, so which means it's going to take some time. Do you get? Being the left side, I can even say it should take more time. Then I can put it I can add a small sound to it, probably an applause. I told you when we started that when you use sound, make sure you use it only when it is necessary. Don't use it to become a distraction to your presentation. Don't use it to become a distraction to your presentation, but it should also always be used to enhance your presentation. Now see what I've done now. You can see it to the last slide. I also put an applause, and I'm not going to use sound in any slide here again. So you have seen that the type of transition you use will determine the effect options that will come, because each transition has different display, and so is the option that is attached to it. So we can look at this, my presentation again from the beginning. You can say this is slide 2 with a background. You can see this is slide 5 with a texture fill background. But you can see that the transition here was different. This is the same with others. Do you see that? And it was a bit slow because I increased the speed. Do you understand this, everybody? Good. The last part of our class today, we will discuss animations. So we have discussed transition, we have discussed how to change background, we have discussed smart art graphics, a review of it, just to remind ourselves, and we all understand design. I told you here you can get different design and apply any of them, but if you change your design, it might change your weddings, it will change the arrangement and position of the weddings, and if there are 1 or 2 overlaps, you have to correct it yourself. And you have also seen the difference between inserting new slide when you already have a design template you are using, and inserting new slide when there is no design template you are using. So all of us can see that this is a little better presentation, and by the time we now talk more on animation, we can enhance the presentation far more than what it was earlier on. So I believe you are all working, and I believe you are getting what I want you to get. I made mention of 2 people, I think Odu Jole and one Indy George, to get ready to share their screen for me to see what you have done. So if any of you are ready, in the next 1 minute, put up your work for sharing. If you're ready.
Hello, sir.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm actually on Zoom with my phone, but I have my laptop here. I don't know if you can see it, if I can